Boston.
What? What'd I say?
Would you like to see?
Yeah.
Raider!
You shall not pass! I will look for you. I will find you.
Well, fine. You know what, Barney? Give this guy a cigarette. He's freaking out. Huh? Who? Barney. He's the guy who tipped me off to Pepe Sylvia.
Barney? Who the hell is Barney?
You don't see Oh, shit. What the hell did he...
You've lost your mind.
Welcome to the Iron Seas, everybody.
Ahoy.
What an opening. What an opening.
That was easy.
How are you guys doing today?
What up, what up?
Great. Doing great. This week,
I can barely see you. You guys are just four blobs. I guess that includes me, but
you got some allergies going on, brother?
oh, dude, the guys started installing insulation, and that mixed with the hay in the air, and I could not see solidly for about an hour and a half, like at all. Besides that, I'm excited. I actually enjoyed watching this movie this time.
Me too, brother. Me too. It was a good one. It was a good nostalgia trip. The movie in question, as you guys all saw, was Blade Runner, the original, theatrical version to be specific, which we will discuss the two different endings because Evalie didn't know there was an extra ending, and I actually forgot the differences between the endings. So I would love to discuss that. Our guest this week is Sarah Pierzchala, Kirk Pierzchala, author of... what was it? Powers and Principalities, right? That's one of them. Yep. Many books, to be honest, many books. And we'll discuss her work too. But yeah, let's start by just going around and asking everybody how they've been doing. Starting with Sarah, how was your week?
It's pretty good. It's busy. A lot of family stuff, but good family stuff. But a lot of driving around, chauffeuring people. But also, my various other projects are going. My art projects, my writing projects are going pretty well, and I'm feeling very good about stuff, which is good. That's a good place to be.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, like sometimes you get in the grind and you kind of forget why you love the thing you're working on a little bit, and you're like, wait, this is pretty cool. So am I. Yeah, it's all going to work out. It's like Justin whenever he plays hockey.
How's your week, Kahuna?
Pretty solid, dude. Just work. I figured out how to schedule shorts on YouTube, so I can actually like front load a whole bunch of them once I get a few more done. But yeah, no, it's been good. Yeah, I thought you could only do that with videos because I'm autistic, but no, I figured it out. So we'll be working on that now.
Heck yeah. And Justin, how about you, man? How's your week?
I'm doing pretty good, man. So far it's been fine. We're still playing Expedition 33 and having a real good time with that. To the point where I'm not ready for it to be over, even though we're approaching the end. I don't think I'll do new game plus though. People that go right back into a game after they finish it, power to you. I can't do it, but I'm having a lot of fun with that one. I'm having a good time.
NAB Babes in Space. I have the blackest hat. It's a great week.
With Tainted Grail is also a good time. I'm trying to get a video cut for that one as well, just my impressions. So that'll be the first impression video. I'm gonna work on that Friday. I think that should be pretty good. And of course, I released Spiral, I think last week. So got that re-release back out there in time for Night Rain. So yeah, a lot of good things going on, a lot of fun things. Oh, and Isom 3. Just finished reading Isom 3, so we're gonna be doing recording on that as well, I think, in the near future. So lots of good stuff going on.
You just reminded me I have music coming out this Friday too. Like,
Nice.
We should have a pretty full newsletter this week. But let's
Solid.
let's say hi to the chat here. We got Brian McCoppin. You can't go from people to non-people. I think
don't
he's
fully
referring
understand that comment.
the replicants. The replicants. I think the replicants.
You can't
But
go
there
from
might-
people to non-people. That's what I call them.
There might be a fun twist on this statement. The deeper we dive into Blade Runner as we go.
I really like King Bob's comment here too.
Oh yeah, is this one? That
It's a thing for sure. Yeah, I didn't see him running through any blades.
There's no blade running.
Or running with blades.
Or
That's
on.
so true.
Yeah. Well,
False title, nonsense movie. Doesn't
is
make
this
any
why they
sense.
is this why they had the female replicant in the sequel have like 2 blades? Because people complained that there was no blades.
Are we talking about like the newer sequel, or was there like I don't even count that movie, honestly.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah, I
thought
don't. I don't. I have no love for that film at all.
Oh yeah, you don't like who is it? I always confuse him with Channing Tatum, but it's
Ryan Gosling, the new
Gosling.
who what's his face? One Eye Ego says should be the next Black Panther.
I'd agree with that.
I think that's spot on casting.
We
You
live
know-
in
you
the
know,
day
like-
and age
yeah.
where makeup is the thing. We have like CGI enhancement and makeup. It's
Are
fine.
you suggesting they do what they did with Robert Downing Jr. in Tropic Thunder?
But better is what I'm saying.
But better.
Yeah, but better.
But
Yeah.
better. That was pretty. We're gonna. This is like getting canceled. Like it's the speed run right here. That's what. We're
Yeah,
doing.
speed run, canceling a speed run.
No, I talked to Thigo about that. Is like, yeah, no, because I'm familiar with the Black Panther comics before the movie ever came out. I'm like, there is a canonical enemy, like antagonist of Black Panther called White Ape. I'm like, there's a
no.
high probability they're gonna turn him into a white guy.
They
and
gotta.
literal white ape will be the enemy in this movie.
They're gonna
I'm very
cast,
glad they didn't do that.
They're gonna
Oh,
cast
there you go.
as they're gonna cast as the white ape, the heel versus babyface. He's already kind of referred to as having silverback energy. So that would be the perfect casting.
Dude,
I'm-
that White Ape's character design is actually pretty sick.
No, it's a cool character.
Yeah, he's just like a dude wearing a gorilla suit.
Yeah,
His-
that's
his-
how you do
his
it.
face
man.
is inside the open mouth.
Yeah, just like
I like
Rhino
it.
from
I like it.
Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly.
He looks
exactly.
like a character from Weapon Lord for Sega Genesis.
Animation Overlord says, "Hail all, hail." Evaleighmusic says, "Ahoy." Whoever that is. I don't know.
Ahoy! Yeah.
Brucey T. He's not a replicant. Story-wise, it makes no sense. At the core, it's about a man finding his humanity juxtaposed to the replicants who are all in their feels. And I would
Gonna
agree with
get a
this.
lot of hate for my opinion on this. I know it all.
Like I said, it might get pretty interesting the deeper we delve into this. We got Bill Armstrong saying Deckard being a replicant destroys the whole point of the story. And, we'll see. Does it? Stay tuned. And animation, if you went full replicant, never go full replicant. You went full replicant, never go full. We just did a Tropic Thunder reference, so that's perfect. So let's get right into it. Blade Runner. 1982, right? 82?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. Right off the heels of Noir Week. So it's right in line. You could call this a modern noir because of the washed out colors and stuff. Me and Kahuna just did a deep dive with Kyle Prometheus about noir. You can check that out.
Besides my scuffed audio, it's a really good video. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, dude. But right off the heels of that, we host the watch party for this, and I was just like watching it with the fresh eyes, and I was like, "Dang, this really is noir." Because he mentioned it, modern examples that could be considered noir because they check like the boxes. He even mentioned like the Duel of Fates not the Duel of Fates, but like Episode 3 Star Wars.
There was noir. There were certain shots that were very noir-esque.
Right.
Techniques used. No, because like there's a whole like bunch of comic characters that were like their artistic style was heavily influenced by noir visuals. Like obviously noir Spider-Man, that's an easy one, but no, I'm like thinking like Batman, The Shadow,
Rorschach.
a whole bunch of Japanese ones as well.
I don't know that Noir Spider-Man is noir.
It's his name is. Yeah, you got me.
I also don't
You
know
got
that
me.
it's Spider-Man either. While we're on the subject,
Yeah, it might not even be. I think Miles Morales is Spider-Man. Now that I think about it, that's what I heard anyway. That's what the news tells me. So
yeah.
that's what I
You
heard.
just listen to what all the mainstream tells you, man.
But, but yeah, like looking at all the boxes to check as far as noir goes, I think I'm gonna openly say that it is like it even kind of has a crime vibe to it, even though crime is not necessarily something to check off the box of noir. It just tends to go in line with a lot of those stories. Like it's always a detective or an investigator or something. But mainly I'm talking about like the aesthetics. Before the show, I think Sarah mentioned back in the day when this first came out, she really like fell in love with like the vibe of it, like the aesthetics and the feel. And I think that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like even the opening shot, it's all very dark but colorful at the same time. It's like cyberpunk but darker, right? Like the cyberpunk game, but like even darker, almost like a grimdark. But it's not quite grimdark. It's actually noir, I think. And there is a difference, we found out. Grimdark is a little bit more pessimistic. Spoilers, but anyway. What do you think? Let the audience know what you think, Sarah, of Blade Runner. I got ahead of myself there.
You mean, whether it's noir or cyberpunk or?
Yeah, like what are your guys' general thoughts on it being noir?
Oh, well, yeah, I think that it was kind of intentional with the shots of the police head of the detective's office, with the blinds and the light coming in and the cigarettes and the dialogue. I think was kind of like from The Big Sleep or The Maltese Falcon, when you have those short, kind of slightly mysterious exchanges where it's not a lot of explication.
Yeah, it makes you it doesn't spell it out for you necessarily.
Yeah,
you got to figure things out along with the characters.
Obviously know a lot more than they're saying, but they're giving you enough to kind of be in on it. And so there's like some slang and stuff. And then with the voiceover, Harrison Ford's voiceover, which wasn't original. I don't think they were originally intending to do that, but I think they were afraid that people would miss a bunch of stuff. So they did that. And that also still ties in with that narration, that hard-boiled detective narration that you see in some of the really old, in the 40s and stuff. And so if you want to talk about the different versions the director's cut, so I had seen the theatrical version many more times before I went ahead and saw the director's cut, and I just didn't like the director's cut, and that could just be me, but I thought that the narration actually worked and brought some depth to his character. And I didn't like the fact that they were implying that he was a replicant. I thought it was dumb.
I have a very controversial opinion about him being one or not, and it's partially a non-issue because it is based on a book and it is definitive in the book that he is not. But again, you have actors saying one thing, directors saying another, different versions of the movie saying one thing another. I truly think we were meant to question and not ever have a real answer. That's what I think. Like people hate that answer, but
well, I think it's better than saying flat out, he is. Everybody's.
Uh-oh.
You could be one. Could be one.
Oh no.
It just gets kind of ridiculous.
We're losing you. I don't know if somebody's running the microwave again or not.
So, man, if anyone was.
I think
I think maybe now you're back. If you could just repeat all of that from the start.
From the very beginning. It's okay. It happens.
I just think that generally speaking, I'm finding that other than the extended version of The Lord of the Rings, I don't like the director's cuts of anything I've seen so far because it's like they're not really, at least of the Ridley Scott ones. You ever see the director's cut of Legend?
Oh
No,
yeah.
but I own it, and I heard it's better than the original. Oh wait, is that the one where they changed all the music though?
They changed the music and that they just extended scenes and did not add an iota of anything to world building or characters or plot or anything. They just extended some scenes, and then the music was just kind of blah.
There is another director's cut or extended kind of cut that I think is better, and it's another Ridley Scott film. It's the Kingdom of Heaven. It's a long.
I can see where that might be.
Yeah, like it's long. The movie is so long, and the director's cut is much longer. But the scenes that they take out are so quintessential to really connecting with the story. Like they took out like a whole bunch of scenes with heart to make you connect with the characters. They took for the theatrical cut, they took those scenes out. I'm like, these are the most important scenes in this whole damn film. Why would you take them out? But yeah, no, it seems like Ridley Scott's always kind of had his own vision, and he's always had to kind of fight with the studio to try to get what he wants to come across. And so, yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes editors know what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Although I did hear the director's version of Blade Runner has a unicorn in it at one point.
It's a dream sequence that looks like it's right out of Legend.
Yep. Yep.
I'm bummed to hear it's a dream, but
it was actually
symbolism.
It was actually B-roll from the movie Willow.
Total symbolism with that unicorn, by the way. Just saying.
What does the unicorn represent, AC?
His erection.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, that was out of
That's it. That was it. No, it's I think Deckard is the unicorn, or maybe maybe it's the replicant, right? The one that says the Tears in Rain speech.
So what? Now he's gay?
Or maybe it's the idea that people chase unicorns, mythical ideas. There's a lot of things that could symbolize it within it. I don't know.
I still think it was necessary.
It's mysterious. It's out. It seems like a very weird memory for him specifically to have.
Yeah.
Or even in the form of a dream. Maybe it's a connection to a time when he felt more human, and when he still had dreams and aspirations and hopes and something worth chasing. Perhaps there's a lot you could imagine there.
Oh yeah. So the world is our oyster with the unicorn. You got a rundown for us, Evalie?
Yeah, I sure do. So as we mentioned, this is Blade Runner from 1982. And if you didn't catch it, it takes place in Los Angeles, California, in the year of our Lord 2019. And I didn't.
It doesn't look that different.
I was gonna say it's surprising. Aside from the flying cars, I mean, they nailed it. With towering skyscrapers looming over the dystopian megacity, grizzled bounty hunter Rick Deckard is called out of retirement when rogue Nexus 6 replicants steal a spaceship and enter Earth. They're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. And if you do that, they gotta kill them. So the order is crystal clear. Deckard has to seek out the illegal replicants and destroy them before they locate their creator. However, as Deckard tries to fix the mistakes of those who want to play God, unprecedented, conflicting emotions cloud his judgment. Can uncertainty and empathy overshadow a Blade Runner's sense of duty? This is starring Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young. There's some other big names in it, like Splash. Splash was in this movie. I didn't know Splash was in this movie.
Sure.
Daryl Hannah, I think her name is. Everyone, of course, only knows her as Splash with an exclamation at the end. The budget, $28 million, and it only made 41. So it didn't do too well at the box office, but obviously became quite a hit afterwards.
They made
beloved by many.
Wait, $20 million profit is only. And that's a flop.
Yeah. And it's, $28 million budget. You got to throw in, I don't know. I know marketing was a little bit different back then, but
I
it's
suppose
probably another between 5 and 10 million, I would assume.
Yeah.
For marketing.
Even $1 million in profit. Just saying, I don't know, man. I still feel like that's a win. Because nowadays, you look at Disney, it's a flop when it's losing money at this point in the game.
Sure, but back then I think it was it didn't blow the doors off.
I suppose you don't want to just make like $5. I get it.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Get me a McChicken with that.
Well, you two are authors up here. You guys know all about working hard and not making enough money.
Yeah. And McChickens.
Profit. What is that word?
Yeah.
I've heard it a long time ago when America was still a country.
No, I mean I make millions of dollars off my music, so I can't relate at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm super
he
rich.
has an alter ego. He wears a pig mask, and he's like the biggest DJ on the West Coast.
If you could see my my checks that come in from the different music sites, you would. You'd be like, wow, one day he'll be able to play like a single round of Street Fighter at the arcades.
Yeah, you know the Halo theme song? That was Evaleighmusic.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
welcome.
okay, yeah. Let's just,
You're
I like
welcome.
this theme where I actually wrote all these amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
They were stolen from him out of the back of his pickup
Yep.
back in the early 2000s when he was out a secret rock star in Hollywood, obviously.
Yes, my pickup, not my tandem bike I ride alone.
I think lore is building. I think there's some lore building here.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Some
it.
lore here.
Tandem bike you ride alone. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my god.
It's called a loser cruiser. It's
Yeah.
hard to balance, but it gets you from point A to point B. You got to pedal a little harder than normal, but that's okay. That's all right.
I will say, watching this movie for the second time, because I'd only seen it once before, like in the last year. I had never seen it before that. First time, I honestly had trouble finishing the film. It got better at the end, but it was kind of a slow burn, and it just wasn't connecting with me that time I watched it. This time I'm watching it, I felt like I actually got it this time when I was watching it. It's
Same.
still not a movie I would say I would watch for enjoyment, but I think it's a very good film, and I appreciate what they were doing, especially in the ends there. But the production on this film is unmatched. I've never seen a better, more well put together. Like it looks perfect.
Pretty good.
The whole way through. The miniature work, the background, even the subtle effects. You
The
can't
eyes.
find the scenes. It's that
Just
good
like-
all the way through.
The eyes hold up. That sparkle in the eye. And you know what? The poll in the chat is kind of cheeky, right? I put up the poll, is he a replicant? Is he a replicant? I've seen many. There's fine replicants on both sides. No, I put that in there. It's kind of cheeky because the conspiracy is that he is. And one of the scenes that they point to is when she looks at the camera, and it's one of the most direct scenes where you see the replicant eye shine in hers, and blurry in the background, which is probably, I mean, they're so good for this. Like blurry in the background, his eyes sparkle a little bit. And it's like only if you're paying attention will you see that. And I noticed that when I was watching. I was like, because I don't know, I was just watching, and I kind of noticed, maybe it's the way they lined up their eyes in the scene or something. But when I watched a video after the fact, they pointed to that scene as like one of the conspiracies. It was one of the main threads in the conspiracy. And I was like,
him surviving the physical confrontations with replicants is the biggest indicator he could be one to me. I mean, the eyes, like they could say, "Oh, that was just because there was an effect, like we were trying to create."
Or on accident, right? Because it's in the 80s.
I think it seemed like it could have been one.
I was questioning it. That's why it blew my mind, because I was questioning it. I was like, probably not. And then
real quick, everybody watching, what is the sequel like? What do you think of the sequel? Do you even consider it like worthwhile? Like, what do you guys think? So, like, some people like it better, and other people cannot stand it. And
my wife didn't like the first one at all. She watched it once, like 15 years ago, didn't care for it. Watched it again because she's like, I'm older, maybe I'll enjoy it now. Still didn't really care for it, but she really liked 2049, which I haven't sat through. It's like 4 hours long. It's too long.
Well, I really like 2049, kind of, but I almost think of it almost as like a separate thing. I mean, it didn't really have to be made. I like the ending of the first one. I just thought that was fine. So this is almost more like a really, really nice bit of fan fiction, maybe.
That's kind of how the impression I
yes.
Yeah. And it is really beautifully done. And it talks about some of the same, themes, but it was so well done the first time around. It's like, did it really need to be done?
You can think about the spirit of Blade Runner and the point of the movie, which we were kind of going on about. It really is about a guy trying to discover humanity within this dystopian world, and the robots that he's hunting down happen to be more human than him. And did humanity create souls? And is he a replicant? Like, it's supposed to leave all these ambiguous questions. And I can see why, like what Kahuna said, some people hate the second one, because it straight up answers some of those. Like, 100% Deckard's human, 100%. And that chick he is with, Replicant, you know, and it just goes down the list of like answering a bunch of questions, and then like, but it does a good job at introducing new things, and it kind of holds it all together pretty well. There's a couple shaky parts. Kahuna knows. There's a couple shaky parts, but for the most part, you know, it's hard to knock, because like one of the first things, Kahuna, you said one of the main damning evidences that Deckard himself is a replicant was how much damage he takes. He has so much HP. One of the first things they have Gosling do is Gosling gets put through a wall by Batista, and that's before he's revealed to be a replicant.
That wasn't even meant to be filmed.
Well, oh really? That's yeah. They were just arguing about politics. No,
throws him through the wall.
But it's almost like they went on Reddit and looked at the conspiracy itself, and then went down the list to nod at things, which I mean, rightfully so. Yeah, like it got my attention because I just watched the other one with it all in mind, and so like one of the first things is like what you said. They put him through the wall. They make him take a significant amount of damage right off the bat. And then they reveal that he's a replicant. So all of that is nodding to the conspiracy in many ways. And then they're just like, yeah, we wrote it into this story. This new Deckard is a replicant, straight up. It's not even going to be a conspiracy. So again, I can see why people both love and hate that right off the bat, that you're following the replicant now, that they went in this direction. Like there's a whole bunch of, you know what I mean?
Well, like, imagine if they made a sequel to the movie Inception, and it starts off showing the thing like just tip over because it ran out of juice.
Exactly. So this is what happened.
The entire ambiguous ending of the movie that begs the question: oh, is he in a dream or is he in real life? And like, imagine if they made a sequel to this movie. It's like it starts off answering that question right away. I'm like, it kind of. I feel like it devalues the original. At least that's my opinion.
But like Sarah said, it is like well done fan fiction. I would say it's apocryphal, right? It's like, yeah, that's believable. You know what I mean? Like,
you guys want to buy a long length leather coat, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I will say they upgraded the coat with Gosling. That was a pretty sweet upgrade, how it goes across the face and everything. And it's like, that makes sense in this world because of all the smog and dust. You got to give it to him. Everybody's going to need the face cover jacket, you know. But anyway, back to the rundown. The sequel is another good one. We might cover that in the future next time it's Blade Runner season.
Well, what season is June Pride Month? Is that Blade Runner season for in the future?
You nailed it. Yeah. No, dude, Blade Runner is all about fertility. There's all this fertility symbolism. Especially
Alien's all about fertility.
Yeah, yeah.
That's messed up. Anyway.
Yeah. Where were we at with the rundown, Evalie?
Oh, we kind of ran. We got through everything. We talked about how much money made and stuff. One question I have was with the narration in this. Do people generally find the narration, the way he delivers the lines? I can't figure out the way he talks. He sounds kind of disinterested or bored, or he's mailing it in, but he's a good actor. So it must be deliberate, but it never, I don't know, the way he talks is
Ford. That's just Harrison Ford. He's always sounding like folding it in. Always acting like I don't want to be here. Where's my paycheck?
He also like he and Ridley Scott were fighting basically. Like Ridley Scott really wanted him to be a replicant, and then Harrison Ford was like, "Nah, he's human."
I saw that scene in the second one. Because I found out after the fact that Harrison Ford was going on like interviews and talking about how he thoroughly believes that Deckard is not a replicant, and how him and Ridley Scott were like, that was a point of contention between them. They were going back and forth about it a little bit. And when I'm watching the second one, after freshly finding all that out, I saw all the scenes directly written out of that conflict. Like literally, what the replicant comes up to Harrison Ford and she says something like, she says something cheeky, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of a nod to, and then all of a sudden, just to confirm my suspicions, all of a sudden Harrison Ford's like, I know what's real. Oh yeah, she says something like, everything perfectly mathematically falling in place, almost like you were almost like you were intelligently designed, or something like that. Like she made some cheeky remark like that, and then he's like, I know what's real. And I'm like, that's literally Harrison Ford saying that. He's like literally saying that Deckard's not a synth right there, or whatever.
Brucey T commenter has some information. They used his worst take for the voiceover. Pretty sure he mentions that in Dungeons. What Dangerous Days Doco? What the hell is that?
Dangerous Days documentary.
They used his worst take for the voiceover. Really?
That's interesting. I mean, okay, so it's not just me being like, I don't know. Yeah, something about it was.
And that's an idiot.
Like the Sarah's point, that is kind of just how he performs. He always kind of has like all of Harrison Ford's best takes in films are his worst. Like, I'm done with this shit kind of like attitude. Like in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, that scene where he shoots the guy with the sword. That was because he was having like a stomach bug issue and he wanted.
Yeah, he had food poisoning.
Yeah, food poisoning with like crapping his pants, and so he's like, nah, damn. Like the script called for him to take his whip and whip the sword out of his hand and like.
He's like, oh, you're kidding. I thought it was intentional. It was so nonchalant. That's like one of the best scenes in the Indiana trilogy. I thought that was very deliberate. Like, no. I'm just like so chill. Like, this guy's such a non-threat.
In the hot sun, I need to get out of here, man. That was what that was.
How funny. So, man, and here I'm sitting here. I'm like, wow, he's usually a pretty good actor in everything he's in. You know, he's good at acting, like charming and playing like he doesn't care. But I guess he just doesn't.
I have a funny story about that too. First time watching Raiders of the Lost Ark as a young child. My dad had my brother and I sitting there. He's like, "All right, guys, you guys see that guy with the sword, like the Arab guy with the black kind of sash, runs up. He's like, that's the best swordsman of all time." I'm like, no, he's not better than Luke. Jordan's like, he's not better than Zorro. He's like, nope, that's the best swordsman of all time.
Best one.
He set us up so good, dude.
That was so good. Brian McCoppin says, which version of Blade Runner do y'all watch? We watched the theatrical one, though for the watch party it was unlabeled, so someone will have to let me know when we dive into the differences between the endings, which I suspect has something to do with Harrison Ford's parade of interviews where he mentioned the replicant thing. Yeah. Anybody want to
understand? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say if we're not. You can get your thought out first, but I was going to say, does anyone want to walk us through the different endings?
Okay, we can do the endings first. I'll come back to my point. It's just about their memories, but what are the different endings?
Brian McCoppin says director's cut had no voiceovers, if I remember correctly. Yeah, what? They added the voiceovers after some bad screen testing, if what I've heard is correct.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Sarah, you have a bit more head knowledge on all this. So what do you think? Do you know all the differences?
Well, no, I actually only watched the director's cut once because I just, like I said, I grew up with the other one and I just preferred it. But I remember thinking, well, I did like the voiceover, but that's maybe because I'm used to it. And the whole sequence and then him being possibly a replicant, I just didn't. I mean, it changed it too much from what I grew up with and was familiar with. You know,
it's like watching
it's like that version first. They would prefer it. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So it sounds like there's. Let me ask Grok here, just to make sure we have all of them, because it can just do a quick deep search and list literally everything.
Grok, our Lord and Savior. It's like I grew up watching the extended Lord of the Rings, and trying to go back and watch the theatrical cut is physical pain if you've already seen the extended versions.
Yeah, I don't even.
Yeah, no, my brother took our special box, the really old DVD set editions, the special extended versions when he left the family. So he took all 3 of those. I'm like, that son of a gun. Also, he took those. I can't believe it.
While this is loading up here, Evalee, what was your thought about the memories?
So they talked about they wanted the replicants to be easy to control so that they don't do anything crazy like rebel and go to Earth and try to find their creator and all that. And they do that by giving them memories. And so in my mind, why not give them memories of the creator is amazing and loves you and do almost like a culty thing?
Mm-hmm.
And everything he did, whatever suffering you're going through, whatever you're doing on other planets, you're doing it for him, and almost do a twist on, a faith. So it becomes religious for these replicants, and they have their own brainwash. And that's another dark twist of wow, they're doing that to them. But instead, they give him memories of a spider babies like coming out of eggs and eating their mother or whatever. I'm like, well, that's not going to get them on a path of control.
I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to find a way to extend the lifespan of a replicant in a way that they would just think they're a normal person. And so if you think you're a normal person, you're not going to go out and do crazy revolution fight nonsense.
Maybe some happy memories so that they don't have like this dark nature built into them would be good.
She had piano lessons. Those were good.
Okay. That's just the spider one. I'm like, that's really dark. Like, just don't give them any of the dark ones. Like, just take that off the table. Just maybe she had a really good cupcake when she was a kid. Like strawberry cupcake.
People who have not suffered in their life are typically terrible people. Yes,
no, that is false. The worst people in the world had like horrible trauma as children, and then they just never got over it, and then it evolved and morphed into something really sinister.
They became heroes who changed the world.
Like 1%, but the other 99, my friend. That's a. I have the statistics. Get on Grok.
It's a trap.
No, that's a Japanese waifu. Now,
I don't know. I would have given them happier memories and just let's try that out first. And then if they're like, hey, these really happy people want to go back to Earth and do bad things, we'd be like, all right, let's try the dark one and see if that works.
Justin would be in charge of like implanting the memories. It's like, anyway, we took a dog to the park and then he found another dog, and then it was such a sweet dog. We brought that one home too.
We all had cookies and they were delicious.
Evalie, you should hit up the Tyrell Corporation and get an executive position.
What do you mean the Tyrell Corporation?
Right. Speaking of which, that you guys, have you heard the conspiracy? This can be one of the. Well, actually, we're making good time here. Have you guys heard the conspiracy that the Aliens universe is linked to Blade Runner, and it's pretty strong.
Aliens is connected to everything. If you
But the Tyrell Corporation is directly in the Aliens universe, and they made the replicants. And if you recall, right, in the Aliens movies, the replicants in there have like the white blood, right? Kind of similar. And the Tyrell Corporation is the main link between all those. It's kind of interesting. And there's a character in Aliens that, or was it? No, the character. The Tyrell character references Wayland as a mentor, and I would think Wayland is in the Aliens. So I don't know. I just think it's really cool when things actually link up like that. I don't know.
It's like what led to Alien versus Predator was the alien skull on the ship in Predator 2. Yeah. It was like one of the trophies. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I see it. But that just that little Easter egg led to an entire film. And 2 films actually, a whole concept.
Right. Going back to the differences in the endings here, the narration, as we mentioned, there's also a tone difference, probably because of the narration not being there. The ending and symbolism, it says here, the theatrical cut ends with a happy ending, quote unquote, where Deckard and Rachel drive off with voiceover suggesting uncertainty. And the director's cut ends with Deckard finding a unicorn origami, hinting he might be a replicant, adding depth to the story. That's framed a little bit. Okay, anyway, additional changes.
It did seem like well, the guy is he puts down the origami of the unicorn, and I'm like, okay, so you're saying you know about the memory that he's never talked about, and that's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty on the nose. Yeah. The director's cut adds a unicorn dream sequence, which we talked about, restores violent scenes like Zora's death, and includes extra moments like Deckard playing the piano, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have watched Westworld. They incorporated that entire idea into their intro.
Deckard playing. I have not. It's one I want to watch. I've seen a couple scenes, but I have not actually watched it.
No, when he's playing the piano, what if he just gets on there and he starts playing some ragtime, some blues or something? It doesn't fit at all.
That'd be amazing. And the last thing here, it removes the opening text crawl, starting directly with action.
Huh.
And that's the director's.
That was the right choice. It would have felt very Star Wars-esque.
Right. But yeah, there's that.
And Bill says season 1 of Westworld is good. Stop there and call it a day. I appreciate that because some of these shows, like every American show, has this problem, like where the activists get involved, or the show goes on for too long and it's ruined for too long. And so I appreciate people letting me know when's a good time to stop.
Yep. Supernatural up to season 5. Lost up to season 4.
This is a good
Alien
one.
Covenant and Prometheus were unwatchable. Were barely watchable.
In some regards,
unwatchable?
As a sweet summer child, I enjoyed them. I don't know, but
that's fine. We're allowed to be wrong.
Covenant and Prometheus?
Yeah.
You didn't like those? I thought they were fine. They were a little excessive with the gore at times, which I didn't care for, but I thought they were pretty fun otherwise.
That's maybe the loudest I've ever laughed in a theater, though. It's when they put Michael Fassbender's head back in, like David, back in his head back in the bag, and he's just looking up while they zip him up. And he just looked really autistic for a second. We just started cracking up, and we couldn't stop. It was getting kicked out.
I love though, like the little that there's the deleted scene that they did that. I like when movies like nod or reference other things or make you want to like, hey, wait, is that part of the same world, or is it just artists tipping the cap or doing a callback to their own work in some cases? That stuff's fun. I like little Easter eggs like that.
I agree, Ryan. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yep. So overall, final ratings and scores and stuff. What do you have any thoughts on like the interconnected universes or the Easter eggs or anything like that, Sarah?
I think it's fun, a fun exercise. I know there's something that going around similarly regarding the Pixar universe and but I honestly don't think that they're really connected. I don't think that they're
they can have a fun Easter egg and not be connected. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
Rumor has it a whole bunch of the Marvel movies may be connected. I don't know that for sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The Zelda games, I'm wearing that tinfoil. I'm drinking that Kool-Aid all day. The Zelda games, I'm convinced there's like 3 timelines for sure, and they all take place on different timelines. And yeah, it's a really fun rabbit hole to dive down. But like, yeah, looking at how all the Zelda games are connected, fascinating, and they converge on the Breath of the Wild, the new one, and that's why like everything is messed up and mixed up, and it's like post-apocalyptic because there was like an event where all the timelines merged, and so there's aspects of everything. Fun stuff to go down. Anyway, I'm gonna say it's a floater. I liked it. I really liked the Tears and Rain monologue. I liked the dialogue. I liked the tone. I liked the imagery. Like right off the bat, I think I couldn't help myself. I hopped in the Discord chat and I was just like, wow, this is great. Yeah. Because the opening shot was that, Sarah, was that opening shot, like all those scenes with like the flying cars and stuff, was that all part of the original?
Oh yeah, I think so. Pretty much. It might have been shortened slightly. In the theatrical version, you're looking at the city, and then you're like looking at a reflection in Roy's eyes. He's looking at the city. I guess it's probably a spaceship's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's burn off from the gas. Yeah. So I think both of those kind of open the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the versions opens with what's his face, antagonist in the pile of bodies, like on a spaceship. I'm trying to remember which one that is, but yeah, no, I deeply enjoy. I enjoy this film. I really appreciate this film. I will watch it occasionally. I think the score, I think the visuals, the effects, the sets have never been surpassed in film. It's a bold statement, but I really think that might be the case.
At least as far as doing it on purpose, yeah. Because it might be a much smaller set than it looks, but they just pulled it off very well. Like Kubrick or something.
It didn't feel like a set, like at any point, which is almost impossible for a film that's this otherworldly. But yeah, no, for me, it's a hard float. It's a good movie. It's just not one I like. I'm not like, oh, this is a fun time kind of movie when I'm watching it. But Justin, that leaves you, my friend. You
No,
gonna sit for third or what?
I'll probably surprise some people here, I think. There's hi. There's some other things that I like. Some of the cast we talked about. The lady from Splash was in it, and then the dude from Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China was in it. So when he showed up, I was like, that guy. So that made me happy whenever he showed up too. I like the guy who had the toys. Home again, home again, jiggity jig. I've heard that phrase before. I had no idea where it's from. There's several moments in this where I was like, oh, that's from there. And I don't know if this is the same movie, but whenever he's looking at the photos and he's like, enhance.
Oh, that, yeah.
Enhance. Enhance.
Yeah.
Enhance. And they go on. That part was fun. Where it gets in there and you see the reflection in the mirror, but the enhance. Enhance. And I like movies from the 80s that try to predict the future and they don't get it right, but I find that really charming. And the fact that the enhance is just like, that's kind of how it looks today, but not quite. And it's just that stuff I think is a lot of fun. Obviously, like you talked about the set design on this, really, really cool little touches like the glowing umbrellas. It's just like little things like that. It's just like, that's fun. And because of that, I think because of so much practical effects, it still looks really good. Even 40 years later. So that's pretty cool. The noir aspects of it, the neo-noir, if you will, I thought they were cool at times. Special effects, as I said, still hold up. I didn't love the ambiguity of a lot of it. There were some things I'm like, how I feel about this really depends on a couple factors. Like, we know we're not going to give you those. I'm like, but then I don't know how to feel. I just feel kind of nothing. I'm like, I need certain pieces to fall into place so I can really form a real. But I know they're like, well, that's not the point. Like, I know, but I'm saying that I wish it had those things. Like,
you gotta let flow through the ambiguity.
I thought the pacing was slow between the action. Like the first 20 minutes or so, I was like, this is great. I'm okay, this is cool. And then it was losing me. It was losing me. It was losing me. And then it kind of comes back together. But by then I'm like, all right, I don't know. It felt a little long in the tooth. Of course, you know how I am. I tend to, for context, I oftentimes watch movies in 1.5x just because I feel like a lot of them move too slow. But overall, I didn't really enjoy it. I'm probably not going to watch it again. However, the fact that so many other people do enjoy it, they see something in it that I don't, and these are people that I'm like, they generally have pretty good taste. So I'm going to give it a light float for them. But me personally, it wouldn't be for me, but I'll give it a light float.
And no replicant can ever become this.
And I think chat has spoken as well. So that gives us 4 Spartan kicks into the well of death out of 5.
This is Sparta!
Yeah. Anyway.
Hell yeah, man.
Our next section of the show is highlighting our guest, Sarah. So why don't you go ahead and tell us some more about yourself and what you've been up to and what kind of work
you've been. I have your book pulled up here too.
Yeah.
So if you want me to read like a little sample of it at some point later, I'd be happy to do that. It'd be fun.
You can share it too, Kahuna, if you want.
Don't tell me what to do, boy.
It's up to you.
Well, as you can see, I was a big fan of the classics of filmmaking from the 80s and on. I grew up reading a lot, but not so much science fiction. Science fiction was what I watched, and I don't know, that just sort of happened. I don't think it was really a conscious decision. I was kind of interested in reading mysteries or classics and so forth. But my writing is very different than a lot of what I've read. So, because my novels aren't very Tolkien-like or C.S. Lewis-like, or they're more like a thriller or a mystery, which in this particular series, it's been called kind of future noir. It's not exactly
class. It's a great name, and the cover is ballin'. I like it.
Thank you. So in this series, there's the themes that are, pretty common about like genetic engineering or corporations, bad governments, all those things. They're in there. But I try to approach it more from a character-driven aspect rather than a lot of preachiness. I feel fairly confident that I'm writing the kind of story that I think that I'm writing, and that a certain kind of reader will like. I'm not quite sure who that reader is, but when sometimes I get reviews and it's like, oh, good, they got it.
Well, it's like, because once you publish the book, it's the way it's interpreted primarily is out of your hands.
Yeah, that's true.
After you're done working on it, and that has to. I've never published anything that I've written, but that has to be a very scary kind of thing to put that out in the world. And like for AC with his books, like they're like, "Hey, you are kind of horror." And he's like, "I guess I am." But yeah, what about you? Like, what was some fun discoveries you made about your story or changes you made along the way as you were writing it? And how long did it take you to write this book?
Well, I actually, an original version was done probably around 20 years ago. And in that version, I was much more influenced by, I would say, Canonical for Leibowitz. And so I had it was farther in the future. And there had been a nuclear exchange, and things were it was much more post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, that was a big trend in books for about 10 or so years. Yeah, I remember that.
But when I revisited this and I really wanted to like reinvigorate and go, okay, I'm really going to do I was actually looking for a publisher for it, but then I ended up going self-publishing for a variety of reasons. Things had changed a lot geopolitically in the real world to the point where I needed to do a lot of reworking. And the technology wasn't where, we thought it was going to be and so forth. So I just basically rewrote it from scratch. But all of my original influences are still in there. There's still those themes. What was very, very difficult to deal with was I started the rewrite in like late 2018 and was going through 2019. And then I was getting ready to publish in like late winter, early spring of 2020, and stuff just started happening, and things were in the world that were like,
unbelievable.
Wait a minute. My timeline is all messed up now because things that I worked in here are like happening from week to week. It was extremely frustrating to have all this dystopia that people were predicting was going to happen 30, 40, 50 years down the road. A lot of it was just happening
week to week. Yeah,
it's unfolding before you could even turn around and catch your breath.
I was going to say, like, it had to be a frustrating time to be a sci-fi or dystopian author. It's like all the conspiracies are true. It's all happening.
It's like, well, I'm not cutting edge anymore. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just reporting stuff that's happened.
This is a non-fiction novel now.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that it was good that I made the actual deliberate, conscious, and artistic decision to focus on characters, because universality of good versus evil and different personalities and different family dynamics, that's always going to be evergreen.
Also, if you have a really good character, that'll keep people coming back. You can have a good story with decent characters, but if you have a really, really compelling character, you can draw a whole story could be driven just based off of that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, I like your cover here. Did you do your cover, or did you hire someone? How did that come about?
Well, it's
between the name and
you got there. Can you hold it up? Is it the same one I've got here?
I'm looking at it on Amazon right now. But yeah, if AC was here, yeah, you could show it there. And when he comes back, we could look at your screen like big time. But
okay,
yeah.
Well, if my latest edition is, full disclosure, I did generate a bunch of different images in Midjourney, and then my son helped me assemble it all and edit it and do like colored adjustments and so forth in affinity photo.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, I did wonder if that was the case, but I think it looks good. Like for me, an author, I'm okay with a cover like that, an AI cover. And plus, you had to do your own work to it. But as long as the book wasn't written that way, I'm
Oh,
all
good
down
lord,
for it.
no.
Oh, like that. Did you guys see that one a while back? That super egregious one. It's like the Sword of Kagan, and then someone like copied and pasted that book, and then like
Were they
AI
left their prompts in?
yeah,
there's that. That was the new one.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
like copy pasted and had AI like alter it, and then released it. I think even with the same damn name.
Yeah, and the original
that's so
author
scummy.
saw basically the copy of the book that they had written. They saw the AI version that was out in existence, and it was like, holy cow, they just like stole this person's work. But
I don't think they even changed the title. I think the title
I
might
don't
have
think
been
they
the
did either.
same. It was
And the
really,
cover was
like,
almost the same. It was crazy. And I don't know what you do in a situation like that because lawsuits are crazy expensive. And AI law, I think, is still kind of weird. So I don't know what would even happen. Like, even if you were like, yeah, it's a 1-to-1. I'm like, would you even win that? And again, going to court is
you'd
a
have
nightmare.
to prove it, and burden of proof is it can be tricky. I've never gone into that myself. I only fight for things like kids in court. That's the only thing I go to court for. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what's cool about AI though, even I mean with the covers, obviously, we think the cover's visually striking, and in my mind, it's like, yeah, if you can get an artist, that's great, but if the cover looks good, the cover looks good, and I don't know, there's something to it. I like that you got the family involved too to help you out with putting it all together. That's really cool, and
Yeah,
it's
a step beyond asking the kids to, I can't figure out this remote. Can you help me change the channel? It's like I can't, you've got to get this cover to fit on the Amazon template, please.
and then they say you're old, and then you said I brought you into this world, and start that whole conversation.
Well, with the AI as it continues to develop as it is, like VO3. I don't know if you guys have seen any of that with the video, the AI generative video, whatever it is that's out there, and there's a bunch. They keep getting better and better.
Some of
and it's
them
not
are
great,
really good,
but I've seen some prompts generated from that are really cool. And to me, it's very exciting because you don't have to have a Hollywood budget. If you're an indie author, an indie creator, somebody that doesn't have millions of dollars to throw at something, and you're like, yeah, but if I want to spend the time on these prompts and everything, I can bring the world for my book to life. And to me, I'm like, that's going to make really cool trailers in the future for people, or you could do just make scenes to get people hooked. And then, or even, if you're really dedicated, like do a movie.
It's absolutely freaky what it can do. And I think, I don't know if there's ever going to be any kind of a universal standard of ethics. I think it's kind of Wild Westy as to what people are going to try to get away with, and what's like for me. Yeah, I'll do covers, or I'll do like some marketing materials. Andy helped with one of my first videos. I had some AI assets, and we put them together. I think it's great for that, and I like using bouncing some ideas off. But mainly, I just will like format text that I've dictated to myself, and then work from that. So, I mean, I don't use it to write, that's for sure. But there are ways that you can use it.
It's
help
just
speed up your workflow.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's just a tool, and so long as you're transparent about its use, I don't see a big. Part of it is that it's already being abused. I know it's been abused. I know whole books have been written with it, like whole books that like. Oh yeah, that was funny too. That was a wild thing I saw. There was this AI photo generation contest, and the winner was a person who took a real photo, and they were mad and disqualified for it.
That's fantastic.
I was so happy to see that because it looks weird. Like the photo is really weird looking. It's just a weird subject at a weird angle with like a very unusual lighting. But
that's great.
He's disqualified. He took an actual photo, guys. This is the AI. I want to be.
That reminds me of the Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest where he entered and he got third. It's like that same kind of thing. Like, what in the world? Like, that's wild.
Also, Herman offers Kahuna GPT. I think it would just make everything louder, more obnoxious. Add woos.
Oh my gosh! Wait, You might be onto something, because AI is going to get so good where you could be like, can you program this but make everything, the responses are the way that I would say things, or it just says woo no matter what. That'd be fun. That'd
There's
be fun
already
to play
ways
around.
to do that. It's like there's this VTuber. Sorry, internet. I like VTubers sometimes. But yeah, no, a friend of hers made an AI model of her that would like with 3D and would respond. And whenever this model saw like this particular VTuber, it called her. He programmed it to call her a little Filipino boy, just to be mean. But it was like. So it was always like a weird random response. It was fun. But yeah, no. So this has been a very long and coming book for you in many ways because you had to rewrite it and change things. And so do you have? Is there a schedule or a plan for a sequel to this book?
Well, actually, I've got 5 in the series published.
Oh,
and...
I was okay. Sorry, most of the indie people we talked to are like, "Yeah, there's going to be 15 books in the series, and this is the first one. Where's the others? Not yet.
No, not 15. The first 5 are already up and available, and number 6, I hope to have finished by the end of the summer, because I'm gonna be at BasedCon, and I would love to have some physical copies to bring with me to that.
That would be very cool. Very based.
The final one, book 7, I hope to have done by the end of next year.
Wow.
Nice.
Good for you. Yeah, I'm liking all these names too. Some of them are like Harshest Dawn. Oh, that cover makes me feel a certain way. But then
that cover was entirely was a human artist that I hired.
It looks like it, honestly. I don't know what about it made me feel that way, but yeah. And then the last, like book 5, it sounds like a command from a very angry Japanese man. It says, "Stare at the sun."
That's probably not a good thing to do. You need protective lenses if you're going to stare at the sun, I believe.
Well, yeah, you're thinking along the lines of the actual plot.
The storyline, yeah. Stay out, son. Stay out.
Do you have a favorite book in the series, whether your favorite story or the one that was the most fun to write, where you're like, yeah, this is the one?
No, that's hard. It's not like picking your favorite child. Every parent already knows their favorite child. For all non-parents out there, it's kind of true, but also definitely not true.
I don't really have a favorite because, like, okay, the most recent one or the one I'm working on is kind of my favorite, but book 3 means a lot to me because I think that one is probably going to be the least read or have the least interest in, because it's like a side quest compared to the rest of the main.
A bit more of maybe more of a character study, like just
it's much more of a character study, much more psychological. And that one actually it won a Catholic Media Association book award.
3rd place.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I see that.
You know, that's who it's appealing to. People who want, the much more of the action and the thriller and the mystery stuff, that's not one they're going to want. But I personally was very proud of that.
Herman says both she and I will be at BasedCon. Very based.
Good.
I love Hunter, man. Or whatever name he's going by at a given moment. But I've read all of his books except for his latest release, the second one in that the Revenant in the Cold series. I know Into the Witchwood. I know I have it. I have it in like 2 different forms. I just haven't read it yet.
It's good. It's good. Where is BasedCon? Is that the Northwest somewhere too?
No, it's in Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
It's in Michigan.
I'm gonna put air in the tires on my tandem bike so I can start pedaling up there.
Your wife will wave as you leave. Billy Judd says, "Did you see the animated movie Flow?" I haven't. I'm not sure what movie this is.
I know Hustle and Flow. Is it?
I have not seen it yet. I would like to see it. My daughter has a black cat and loves 2D style animation. We should watch it as a family.
Is it like a newer animated film?
2024. There's a cat.
It won the Oscar, and it was done by a very tiny studio, almost a one-man studio. He had some help, but he was using a lot of just resources that anybody could, like, I think he did a Blender and then a bunch of other kind of off the shelf things, and it was not like a Disney studio production. It was very, very small and indie. And
that was an American production?
No, I think he's Estonian, maybe.
Whoa.
Something like that. Maybe one of the Baltic states, I think.
Estonia always sounds like one of those fake countries, like that they have in a movie. It's like a Marvel villain needs a country to be the king of. It's like Estonia. That sounds like a real place.
Yeah, dude. The guy who made it, if this is right, Latvian. His name is Gintz, Gintz, Gintz.
Well, he was getting it done.
Zilbalodis, Gintz.
Zilbalodis.
That sounds like an anime protagonist. Gintz.
It does. Yeah, I'm like, it's like any animated film is not by Disney. It's like, is it Japanese? No. Actually, no. Korea has been kind of hitting recently. I really like Solo Leveling, the show, and then they did the animated feature King of Kings. And that was a very good movie to watch with my kids. I really enjoyed that movie.
Wait, who made that one?
Koreans.
Nah, that's a Korean flick?
Yes. It's based on the Charles Dickens novel, but it's a Korean studio that did it. There's also Korean studios that animated the Avatar, like were the primary animators for Avatar: The Last Airbender too.
I mean, I'm not surprised because they generate some great pop music, and also the cars are good. Good food too.
Oh, it's spicy food, but it is good. I'll accept that.
Yeah,
the American version of chow mein is the Korean version. It's not the
you ever been to Honey Pig? It's a good time.
You just call me a honey pig?
Maybe. It's a restaurant. It's good stuff.
Boink.
Or the one might even be called Iron Age, right? Where you go there and you cook on the little thing there. It's a good time. It's sort of like Melting Pot.
Anyways. Melting Pot is garbage though, dude. It has a nice atmosphere, but it costs too much money and the food's mediocre.
Except but you're going to hang out, you know. Very, very Anyways. Good. Interesting that so the movie Flow, I could definitely got to check that out. The trailer looks cool.
If I went there, I would be a sociopath if I went there by myself. Can you imagine a single man at the Melting Pot?
That's so sad.
Well, I can now that you've said that. And a single man who would be in there by himself, he left the kids at home. It would just be you because that makes the visual a lot more fun.
Yeah, he'd be jumping off the bridge in Tacoma immediately after that meal. That would be it.
Oh no.
Also, Skunk's Workshop. He's an artist himself. He works on game development and a bunch of stuff as well. Very, very cool individual. And he says you have to watch it. That's how he says it. But yeah, Replicant. We're all trying to find the best way to say Replicant.
I think that is it. That's it right there.
But yeah, no, you have so many books in the series. Is there an end point like planned? Do you know where the story ends?
Well, I want to be able to wrap it up in the 7th volume. I'll leave room for like maybe some spin-off stories if there's a huge demand, or if I feel like doing it. But the main character arcs and the plot line should wrap up in the 7th volume.
Sweet. All right.
You mentioned going to BasedCon. Do you do a lot of cons, or is this going to be first one or one of many?
This is the second time that I've gone to BasedCon, which was the only one that I've been to. I've done some like local vendors and so forth.
Yeah, no, it sounds like that's the problem. All y'all folks are like on the wrong coast. I'm way too far away from you guys. Like I'm living here in Washington all by my lonesome, like Maji-chan who can't drive. It's like great. But yeah, so I like Sarah, if you had me read something from it, would you like me to read like the just the page like on for book 1 or read part of the sample? Which would you prefer?
Oh, what do you want to do?
I'm giving you options. If you tell me to do a funny voice, I can do a funny voice.
No, I don't think you want to do funny voices, but
no, I got this. When cybersecurity defender Owen Dillon McClintier, oh my lord, I can't say that word, is forced from behind his computer screen to investigate a potential terror threat to the Pacific Northwest. He gets more than he bargains for when he crosses paths with the unpredictable and tragic figure of Tomas Chen Diaz and the latter's brother, the enigmatic Francisco, a wealthy global plutocrat. Francisco is a brilliant amateur biotech scientist with many powerful associates and a few dark family secrets. He's ready to kill over to keep hidden. Drawn into Chen Diaz's web of international conspiracies, McClintier finds his skills tested to the limit as he's trapped in a world where science and technology invade the most sacred realms of the human heart and soul. A world where he'll confront some uncomfortable truths about himself, if he survives. Book 1 of Beyond Cascadia series. Not bad, man. Not bad. Oh no, did we lose her?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm on the Amazon page, just don't have it up in here. It looks like the book is 500 pages too, which isn't. That's a good size in my mind.
Yeah, it's a good medium length kind of size. It's not a Stormlight, but it's also not like.
Well, Stormlight is excessively long, so this is a good length. I won't even call it medium. I'd call it good.
I'd say this is a good medium length. Yeah,
it's good length. You guys and your door stoppers over there, but I'm not sure if that's standard. But let's see.
Also, Sarah, you have to help me out here. How do you say his last name? McClintier?
McIntyre.
McIntyre, okay, is that it?
I dropped.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. What I heard until it dropped. It might have been my battery.
As soon as you left, it got really bad. No.
Yeah.
So wait, is his last name McIntyre?
Yes.
Oh, Justin, how did you know that?
I've seen that name before, and I've heard it.
What do you mean? Cool. I've never even heard of this name. It's a good name.
It's Scottish.
It's Scottish boy. No one know. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a son of the carpenter, son of the craftsman. Pretty sure.
Also, Herman has a word of warning. Never ask Kahuna what he wants to do. Never give him that wide of an opening. Before you know it, he's live streaming from his bathroom. That only happened like 8 or 9 times. That's not...
I will say I'm glad that you have your shirt on tonight, since we're in the presence of a lady and no Hawaiian masks.
It's getting hot in here, dude. I'm not gonna lie. No. I'm in this tiny, dude. I'm in a closet. This, like, I can almost reach both ends of the room with my arms. Yeah, but out of respect for Sarah, I will keep most of my clothing on.
It's probably the right choice.
Thank you.
Most of the time, guests are like, "Yeah, take it off," and they think I'm joking, and I'm not. Oh, but yeah, no, this is so. It's interesting. You talked about growing up. You read mostly fantasy when you were younger, and then you go and write a sci-fi series, which is obviously a kind of different thing. But I kind of get that because I've talked to other authors before. They'll, like, a lot of guys who read a lot of sci-fi growing up will read a fantasy book. And it's like, maybe it's because they're too worried about like copying things they are so familiar with and love as much as they do in their own version of that. And so or maybe it's just inspiration of the individual. But yeah, what led you to write sci-fi instead of fantasy?
I think that it is because I don't think I could follow in the footsteps of the ones that really impressed me. I don't think I could world build like Tolkien, but by picking a storyline that's kind of closer to home, it's kind of around the corner. It's just kind of easier for me to manage that world. I don't have to come up with a whole bunch of stuff. Although, as I've worked on it, it's like as I get more skilled and I've got a huge bunch of notes on all sorts of other things I could do in different genres and things I would love to do. I don't know if I'll get to them, but I do feel it's kind of given me the confidence to think, well, maybe I could tackle in a completely different genre sometime when I'm done with this one.
I have a perfect clip for that, what you said about Tolkien and filling the footsteps of the ones who impressed you.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Yeah.
About to like bring out the harsh language.
Yeah.
Also, so you have an audiobook version of the first book as well. And I have before that we talk about that. Every book has 3 options: Kindle, hardcover, and paperback, except for book 2. What happened to book 2? Why is it?
Well,
why we put baby in the corner?
Book 2, it turns out, Amazon won't publish hardback if it's more than 500 pages.
Oh, and it's just too long of a
over
book.
700. It's almost $2 in one.
And two of your books are exactly 500 pages. So I was like, huh, that's interesting.
That's nice.
That explains why.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's kind of a nice little goal. Like if you know you can just type away, and pump out the story content, and like if 500 is like,
It is good to know that now. Barnes and Noble will do the bigger one, so I can theoretically I could do offer, like I've got a shop on Etsy now where I'm selling direct physical copies. You can get autographed and with bookmarks and stickers and stuff, so you get a little extra swag. But when I upgrade all of my hardcovers, I can offer that book 2 hardcover also by using Barnes and Noble as my printer.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know if Ingram Spark makes it easier or not. If I know some people have worked with that as well. I'm not familiar enough to say.
With what?
But Ingram Spark. It's there's Amazon Publishing, then there's Ingram Spark. I don't know if it's even used anymore.
I've looked into Ingram Spark, and I think the deal breaker for me, well, there were a bunch, because they don't give you like unlimited corrections.
Yeah.
After the first one, you have to pay to upload everything each time, and then I think their minimum, I'm not positive, but they might have a minimum number of orders for your author's copies, whereas KDP doesn't, and neither does Barnes and Noble.
Right.
And I just don't want to be stuck with a bunch of things, because I don't travel around and market in person very much, and I'm just starting to try to do it online, so I don't need a bunch of stuff stuck here that if I'm not selling.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Yeah, I'll see if I can bring up one or a couple of the covers. I'll bring up the book 4.
Yeah, let's show us some covers. I love doing that. Yeah, let's do it.
Allow me to share. Hold on one second.
I haven't looked too much into Barnes and Noble, but I know Ingram Spark is actually kind of the secret ingredient to a lot of people's business models. Meaning, if you're willing to deal with the bullshit that goes into Ingram Spark and the learning curve, you actually could charge a little bit and provide a service to other people who don't want to do that but still need something like that. There's a few people like that.
I can see where you can do that. I don't know that I want to do that.
Right. It's like for somebody with a management mindset, but yeah, that's a total doable thing. So I know Ingram Spark is still viable. It just I think has a learning curve.
Spicy cover.
And I think a little bit of bullshit, and like you said, like some minimums involved and stuff like that. So
Harshest Dawn, that's nice.
And I like that cover.
Yeah. It's I was looking at a bunch of them, and yeah, book 4 might be my. I don't know. They're all really good. That's the problem. Let's go. Wait, too far. There we go. Dang, R.I.P. Who died?
Hot Lips and Mash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hot Lips and Mash.
But yeah, no, absolutely. And so you've talked about possibly having a spin-off series of sorts. Do you already have an idea of what that would be, or have you considered, now that you've have these 5, 6, 7 books under your belt, maybe now I can tackle a fantasy if I really want to?
Yeah. Before I would even consider doing any spin-offs, I've actually started work on a graphic novel adaptation of the first book.
Ooh.
And it's slow going because I've got a lot of interruptions of other things I'm working on.
Yeah.
And it is that, talk about a learning curve, but there's so many wonderful tools out. I mean, I have a degree in drawing, so I can draw. Okay. No, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
The problem was okay, well, how do I add in text boxes and the dialogue and all of that and the frames, and I have to draw all each each one by hand, and I've found that I can do a lot of work on Canva, like import my finished drawings.
Mm-hmm.
It's learning how to work much more faster and accurate and finding a style that I like. So that's taking a lot longer than I would like. But what I've got so far, I'm happy with. But I can't really give a timeline on when that would be done because, again, it's a lot of work.
It really is.
I really like doing it.
Yeah. AC knows all about that. Having worked on his graphic novel, Saga of Sunsets.
It's interesting.
Short story.
It's interesting. You can do the drawing and all that stuff, and I like was able to do all the lettering and all that stuff.
Good.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny, like, or on the like same coin, different side of it. Oh yeah, this is one I'm familiar with. I know this one. There's a pretty good trailer out there somewhere, I think.
Yeah, very good trailer.
Yeah.
Has anyone missed the period in your name that you put there and said, "Oh, it's a skirk"? Yeah,
I had the same thought, Kahuna. Earlier, I was like, "Skirk, that's an interesting name." Oh wait,
that would be a cool.
There's a vile part of me that's like, if I ever like did a review here, I could say it that way.
I bet it would sell good in Europe too. I bet it would sell good in Europe. If you ever go under a European pen name, you should just take the period out and just be Skirk.
We're putting apostrophe
or something.
Well, Pierzchala is actually Polish. My maiden name was Williams.
Oh, okay.
Well, then the last name would probably go over really good too in like the Scandinavian areas. Yeah.
The Scandinavia, yeah.
Right. But yeah, overall, I know my wife did a little bit of editing for you too, and she was going on about how fantastic your work is. Actually, she's edited for a few people now, including myself. So that's a good compliment in my eyes. And yeah, just I needed to get that part out there because even from an editor's perspective, yeah, Sarah's got it. Because you got like experience and knowledge, and you write about things that you love. I think is another thing. Like right off the bat, like I was like, "What movie?" And you're like, "Blade Runner." What? Like, and I'm like, okay, my job's easier. Let's go. So.
I also couldn't find my physical copy of the movie, so I'm like, all right, Amazon Prime, let's do this.
Let's do it. Yeah. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to shout out or promote before we get into like the final section of the show here, Sarah?
No, just you asking me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
no, you're like the mascot of each show. It's like, come on out, you've done your thing, go back.
Yeah. Well, I will include your links in the description at the very least to get that out there.
Great, thank you.
And just grab some books.
That's something. Oh yeah, speaking of Blade Runner, I got a French graphic novel edition of New Android's Dream of Electric Sheep.
Oh, neat.
What? Really?
The French win as far as art goes. Like there are some bad panels in here too, but it's like a lot of them are really.
Let's see a couple.
Interesting.
Let me see.
Who's the artist?
I don't know. It's from Boom Studios. It's kind of old. Illustrated by Tony Parker with blonde. I don't know if that means like he's with a blonde or if that's another famous artist. But it says illustrated by Tony Parker with blonde. Is it like the artist formerly known as Prince kind of thing, or is there what's going on there? But yeah, no. Some of these panels are really interesting. Yeah, just the colors.
Let's see it. Oh yeah, that color's popping. Oh yeah. I like the panel layout too. It's kind of
dynamic.
Yeah, freeform. Cool stuff.
And that's the original book by Philip K. Dick. Interesting book, but it's kind of like I'm like it's when I was younger I watched the movie I, Robot, and then I read the book. I'm like, wow, these things are barely related. I'm not sure what was going on here, but it's like I can appreciate both things, but yeah. I think like with Blade Runner, I kind of felt about that movie the same way I felt about the book I Am Legend. The last few minutes, the last couple of pages saved the movie and book for me, respectively.
Yeah.
Something about that, the last couple scenes of Blade Runner really bring it all together and make it mean something. And without that, I don't think I would have really liked that film at all. It's like same thing with I Am Legend. I Am Legend was kind of dry and weird and not what I expected when I read it, but the last couple pages are one of the best endings of any book, period.
Yeah, it gets pretty out of control with those last few pages in I Am Legend. And I mean, talk about that could be maybe considered a noir too. I could see that if it was adapted into a noir style movie, like faithfully. The Will Smith one as a standalone isn't the worst, as a standalone, but it's a pretty bad adaptation.
It's a very bad adaptation.
Yeah.
We're just one bit by that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if somebody, I mean, maybe I just got noir on the brain, but I'm thinking not black and white, even though that would be really cool to see too, but something along the lines of the new Nosferatu movie where it's just so washed out and high contrast that it almost looks black and white.
That movie is so nice to look. That's such a good film.
Something like that, and then it's just Robert Neville doing his daily stuff, and it very, very much passive storytelling. Maybe we hear a thought narration, and then it all just builds up to those last couple pages that you're referring to, where it just all goes off the deep end. It's so good though. It's such a good novella. And I would agree. It's like context. It's the context of noir. That's why I think it would serve really well as one, because what makes those last couple pages really good in I Am Legend is the context of the entire story. Because as you're reading it, you start remembering everything that was happening, and you're like, oh dang, it was like that. That means this. Oh, and then you remember that other thing.
Changes the context of everything that you thought you were reading before.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of good questions here. One from Billy Judd. Will you see the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake? That's hard. I have kids, and so I do have a legitimate reason I could go see that movie. It's I haven't seen the new Lilo and Stitch movie, but I'm so upset by everything I know about that film.
Yeah.
I'm Hawaiian. The message of the original movie is so good, and it's also so Hawaiian, and they've completely they've deconstructed it. It's a deconstruction, is what it is, and it's not better. I'm so peeved. Sarah, did you see it, or do you just know about it?
I have not seen it, but I actually saw Brian McCoppin posted that he had seen it with his daughter because she loved that cartoon, and I actually had a long thread basically reviewing it, and I was reading it out loud to my oldest daughter, and her jaw was, she was just like, she said, "They did what?" So my kids just went and watched the original. They're like, we're not even going to go see that. We're just going to go watch the original. So.
Yeah.
And they should. The original's fantastic. And one of the best Disney marketing campaigns for an animated film ever, probably. You guys all remember that? It put Stitch in a bunch of trailers for other movies they were making special editions of or re-releases of. And they just had Stitch show up in all of these other movies. It was so smart.
Really?
It was it was really,
very
really
smart.
fun.
Very smart.
Funny.
It's my aunt. She knew the coordinator for the music on that movie because my aunt does Hawaiian, does a Hawaiian choir, runs a Hawaiian choir company over there, and so it's a very special movie, a very good movie, and it feels very Hawaii despite the aliens and everything else. It's a lot of there are a lot of movies that take place in Hawaii that do not feel like Hawaii at all, and this movie did manage it. And then to hear that they just butchered it for this film, and then they took everything good about it and literally reversed it.
And that's like, you see this time and time again with every live action remake they do. The casting is off, the stories change, things don't make sense. They do a lot of things where it's not even the original film. So whenever anything comes out that's an adaptation, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't have any reason right out the gate to believe it's going to be, because the track record is terrible. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the one that is a hit, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting a long time. I'll wait to hear what people are saying about it, and then maybe once it's on like Max or one of these other streaming services, I'll throw it on in the background. But I'm not going to the theaters for it. That's for sure. If it's good, I might not go anyways, because I mean the original, it's not that old, you know. It's almost like not enough time has passed to even bring these things to a live action version.
It just needs to be faithful.
Even if it's faithful, it's like, what are you really bringing that's different than the animated
it's exactly
one? Except you're losing some of the character.
People are asking for, what's the point if it's not better?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why does this need to exist? So I don't know. Wait and see. But I probably will not be rushing out to theaters to catch it. So you'll have to report back. Judd said he's going to give it a shot. So we're going to see it. If you pop back in here, you'll have to let us know your thoughts.
Oh, my wife popped in and says, "Hey, oh beautiful woman, SP Sarah." Great guest. Great guest.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it. Yes. Well, it's also like they have the new Amazon show for Harry Potter coming out.
Yeah.
Why? Adaptation is so good. It's not that old.
Good.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was perfect. They didn't need to do anything. Just move on.
Except fix the end. Besides that, it's fine.
Yeah, there's certain things that could be live action or like adapted, and the world's itching for it. Like I got baited the other day by Spider-Man Noir, an AI trailer. It was so well done though. I'm like, when they made Nicolas Cage old in the trailer, and then they used very quick snippets from some Marvel movies, like the infamous spider bite scene. But your brain just tells yourself, it's like, oh, that's just Marvel reusing that scene, right? And so you're like believing it as it goes. They made Nicolas Cage an old man, and I'm just like, why does this look so good? It's because it's not real. That's why it looks so good. They wouldn't do that good of a job.
Remember, for years they on YouTube, it was like back in 2010 to like 2013, they would have like the trailer for this movie you've been wanting to see for years. The movie's finally coming out. Here's the trailer, and it was just they're just rickrolling you. I fell for that so many times. I'm like, oh, that movie! I'm so excited. Click. Oh, son of.
What's that? What's that video game that's like got the big brothers and the little sisters? It's like underwater.
BioShock.
Yeah. That's another one. Spider-Man Noir, BioShock. BioShock would go over great. Just got to do it faithfully.
Oh, it'd be so expensive to produce
that. I know you were saying, what are you doing different than the original? Might as well watch it. Well, it's different because it's live action, so they can technically get away with it by just being faithful. Yeah, but I do know a lot of people will complain about the same thing. They'll just be like, well, I'll just watch the original.
To me, it's you're turning a movie into a movie, and so it's like live action. It's like there's something there, but the movie already exists. A video game is a totally different beast. Turning a video game into a movie, I understand. Doing an adaptation of that, and if you can be faithful with that,
unless they're going to ruin it like they do almost every video game adaptation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers was fine. I like that movie. I think it's good.
And Sonic was different than the games, from my understanding, but it was still a fun time.
I don't know a single person who hates Sonic who also likes like the video games as well. Like those movies took me by surprise. I went to go see those like with my kids. I'm like, this is going to be like their version of like Finding Nemo and all that when I was younger.
It's true.
And they're so good. Like I was shocked. I saw the 2 and 3 in theaters with Thorin and then Elric for the third one. And it was shocking how good it was.
And if you recall, whenever they first released the trailers from that, Sonic looked all jacked up. Yeah. It was just totally chopped. And the fans complained. And what did they do? They fixed it. And they made him more faithful to the original design. And then people came out in masses. I mean, it was a good movie, too. But
now the fans don't give a crap.
To the point where people were like, did they do that on purpose? Was it like the plan the whole time? Or was it just some brilliant marketing angle? I don't know.
That person needs to be given a raise. If that was a purposeful thing, brilliant.
Yeah,
I really think they were just the only people who actually listened to the fans.
could be. Definitely could be, and
I
it
really
paid
think
off.
that. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's absolutely stunning how nobody else is looking to that as proof. Literally, somebody demonstrated it in real time for you, and
Right.
like walked you through the steps. You can go read all the articles. You can see the backlash. You can find all the old posts people made about it, all the old
There's
YouTube
a
videos.
problem, Andy. There's a problem though,
Just
because
arrogant.
they did that with Morbius. They thought the memes meant people actually wanted to see it, so they changed it a little bit, brought it back to theaters,
Whoops.
and it made even
no.
less money. And
Oh,
Is
no.
that, like, I feel like everybody forgets that. Like,
I can get behind Morbius as a character. Did you guys ever watch the old Spider-Man animated Spider-Man?
I
there's
saw
like
a couple
3 or 4
episodes,
of them.
Like
So
90s
I've seen some of I've seen some of them
on TV.
Yeah.
like Spectacular Spider-Man, the
On the
Ultimate
TV?
Spider-Man, you know.
On the TV, on the tube.
on the television. Back
Yeah.
in my day, we used to have plug it
The
in
one
and
where
have
Peter
it-
Parker becomes the four-armed mutant Spider-Man at one point. You know what I'm talking about? The 90s one?
I know Ben 10, but go on.
Yeah,
That's a
I
great
forgot my original train of thought, but whatever Kahuna said, yeah.
What I was gonna
Before
say
I
with-
started talking, I can't remember now.
We'll see if it comes back to you. What I was going to say with Sonic is, look, I understand as it's a business. Like, at the end of the day, whatever you're doing, it is a business. You're trying to get your product in front of more eyes. You're trying to make more money, blah, 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 blah. And I understand the notion of we have to expand the market. Totally fine with it. But in that, you have to first take care of the core audience, the people that are there, Sonic fans, whoever, and then you just expand out about this much. And I feel like the tendency is, instead of that, they try to expand this way, and then if this was your core audience, they go right here, and they cut out the people they need most, try to bring in new people that don't care about the property. It's like, guys, this isn't hard. Start by taking care of them, and then just a little bit. Just a little. You can get away with that, because if it's 95% exactly what they know and love, you can change little things and people will be fine with it. Kind of like the Mario Brothers movie. There's little things about that where I'm like, what the heck? I don't like
well,
that.
like
but
they were
overall,
trying
it's
to
fun,
they were
you
trying
know?
to turn it into a Princess Peach movie, and
Right.
elements of that are still in the film for sure.
Mhm.
But
And
Japan
Nintendo's
was like, no.
What's Japanese for no? Is it EA? EA? Is that it?
It's in the game.
Japanese for
No, I'd like to think that he just can't.
No?
The executive. I don't know why it's one. I don't know why he's a samurai, but he walks in Abunai, which just means danger or dangerous. One word. Fix it.
Whoa.
So yeah, Sarah, what about do your kids take following your footsteps? Do they like to? Do any of them write, or are they creative in any capacity like that?
Oh, they're all pretty creative. My daughters kind of wanted to do. Actually, some of my sons wanted to have some careers in either animation or game design or so forth, but most of them have realized that that's really hard to make a living. So now they're going into computer science and biology, but still doing a lot of art on the side. My oldest son actually is heavy into game development. He's got like a secret project that he's working on. I don't know if it's going to. I don't know. I mean, he's explained it to me, and good luck. I don't know. So he's at the moment is the one who is following a much more overtly creative path. The others are
a little more career
facing reality.
Yeah, it's like, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad way to go, because a lot of people, to be successful in the creative industry, they end up losing their love of what brought them there in the first place. Not all of them, but it's not an uncommon thing. I've seen it happen with family and friends of mine. And so it could be a blessing in disguise. Then again, some people are able to do it, figure it out, and they make it work, man. It's like, imagine being a stand-up comic back in the day when you made no money for like 10 years, and then finally you make it big. It's like, I could see people getting disillusioned through a process like that, because a lot of industries are like that. They will just chew you up and spit you out without a care, especially anything related to entertainment.
Yeah, so I am kind of glad that, especially that my daughter is gonna. She does a lot of stuff on the side, you know, as an outlet. I mean, they're all really good artists, really good. If they do write, they don't show me. They might be writing
Oh,
stuff in secret, but they're not sharing it with me.
What one of your children wrote the Bigfoot love story that I read recently? Obviously.
Oh no!
It's like, are you going to tell mom? Absolutely not. No. I'm going to use a pseudonym. She'll never find out.
That's a secret project. Yep. It's like, I've been studying Bigfoot and like writing this thing about Bigfoot, keeping it secret though.
Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Also, forgive me, Sarah. I joke around a lot, so.
Let's go around and give our final thoughts here before we start wrapping up. Hey, Booba.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to check out Sarah's books. The covers, the titles, the concept is nice, and I think there's room on these shelves here and at home for those books. I'd love to add them to the stack and go through it. Plus, you have an audio version of the first book, which makes it really easy for me to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that'll be a great.
That audio version was the one I was invited, and as were a lot of other people, to do like the beta version of Amazon's AI. So I did go through the file, and I made sure, because it would like flag certain things, or you'd like pick something out and listen to it, and it's like, oh, you don't know what that word is, you're mispronouncing it.
Yeah,
so I don't know that I caught everything, but what I spot checked, it sounded pretty good.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I'm glad that worked out for you guys. But yeah, no, love to check that out. I love that I got to watch this movie again and actually enjoy going through it this time. And yeah, no, good show, boys. Sorry if my voice or anything is weird. Like right now I can still barely see right now. It hurts, but it works out just fine. Sarah, what about you? Any final thoughts, final plugs, any loud noises you want to make? Angry gestures towards me. We're ready.
No, I think this format is really cool. I love the long form discussions of works of entertainment and literature and the free form back and forth. Thanks for having me, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the film. I think
yeah, of course.
What it was supposed to be. I think you got what the director really wanted, what all of the creative team were going for. So it was just really fun hanging out and talking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. All like technical issues aside too, because like I assume you had some trouble. I definitely had some trouble. But it all worked out. And what about you, Evaleighmusic, Replicant, not Replicant?
Yeah, I'm obviously great talking to you. Your books look really interesting, and I love any time we have a guest that has an audiobook. That's like a game changer, because I'm a very slow reader, very ADD, but I commute a lot. And so to be able to throw something on while I'm commuting, that's like, okay, or if I'm mowing the lawn or cooking dinner, or it's just such an easier way to digest people's books. So that's really cool to hear. And for the movie, I don't know that I would actually ever watch this on my own. So those movies, I'm like, I should watch that someday just so I know what people are talking about. But I have like the books I need to read. I have stacks of movies that I also am like, I need to watch these. And I would have put a lot of movies ahead of this. So even though I didn't love it, I'm glad I've seen it, because now I'm like, oh yeah, when people are talking about it, I know what they're referencing, and I can contribute to the conversation in some semi-intelligent, meaningful way, hopefully. So I appreciate that. So good pick, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I going right into the second one, like there's all this rain symbolism in the first movie. The second one had snow symbolism, so I really appreciated that. And don't miss. Go check out Evaleigh's new song on Empty My Lungs' YouTube channel. Very, very well done. Inspired by Elden Ring. And while you're there, sub, because I will be dropping a new song this Friday. That one's called Memory. I wrote it for my dad a while back, and I finally got around to mastering it and putting it out there. We thank everybody for joining us. Tune in next week. Go find us on Substack for some flash fiction and newsletter updates, which we actually put some real news in there sometimes too. And yeah, we'll see you next week. But I do have a special outro message from the Sea Wives. I'm receiving the transmission right now. Hold on. I think it's going to interfere with the stream, so that's why we had to go out.
Aye, Captain, we sail the iron seas. Aye, Captain, for the Sea Wives we seamen please. For the Sea Wives are mighty fine, the Sea Wives are kind, for the Sea Wives are the queens of the iron seas. The Sea Wives are so divine. And we sail with Captain A.C, and we sail with Captain Kahuna, and we sail with Captain Evaleighmusic, and we sail with First Lady KD. Aye, aye, Captain, we sail the iron seas. Aye, aye, Captain, for the Sea Wives we seamen please. The seamen love, the Sea Wives, the seamen love, the Sea Wives, the seamen love, the Sea Wives, the seamen love, the Sea Wives we seize. We share our friendship wieners, we share our toast and drink. We party with the Sea Wives, for they're the reason that we live. We The seamen love the Sea Wives, the seamen love the Sea Wives, the seamen love the Sea Wives, the seamen love the Sea Wives. We share our friendship wieners, we share our toast and drink. We party with the Sea Wives, for they're the reason that we live. We